the store, control gonna smoke. They tell me to quit, don't listen what I'm told. They help me forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know what I'm chasing no more. Tell me what I want, just keep searching on. It's never enough, cup after cup, blunt after blunt. I wouldn't get one if I could find a flaw. In the car.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We are in a special edition tonight here on the Pigtown Sports Show. We're going to try a little bit of Ravens content, and I have a special guest with me here tonight, a Ravens guru, Matt Trigger. Matt, how you been, buddy?
What's going on, Zach? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the word guru more than you know.
Definitely, man. Definitely. We've had a lot of offline conversations about the Ravens this year, so it'd be kind of good just to get on and just chat and kind of pick your brain this year to see where do we think the Ravens are going to go. I see a lot of people high praising the Ravens this year, and probably rightfully so. I personally, I think this is the most talented roster in the NFL. What do you think?
When you look at it on paper, top to bottom, just the amount of solid players and the depth, yes, I believe that this might be the best overall constructed roster in the league. And when you look at the last 2 years, the 23 roster, which a lot of people thought might have been the best Ravens roster of all time, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl. This one's special. And mainly it's because of the upgrades in some of the places that we've taken, steps to improve. Wide receiver 3 going from Aguilar to DeAndre Hopkins, and free safety going from Marcus Williams to Malachi Starks. I know he's a rookie, but Marcus Williams, for the most part, underperformed about 85% of the time that he was here. And it looks like a better move in hindsight because not long after we drafted Malachi Starks, our Darius Washington tore his Achilles prepping for the season. It's crazy because you think about this team that they've built for the better part of the last 3 seasons. They've won 27 regular season games out of a possible 34. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's up, Drew? Good seeing you, man. It's insane to think about because nobody really thinks about like the overall season to season progress. They just worry about the end game, which is the Super Bowl, which is completely understandable. But DeCosta's done a really good job of building this roster, and it's a testament to his overall talent as our GM. The fact that 3 undrafted rookie free agents made this team,
right?
And he went out and found these guys, and I'm gonna give him some credit for Lowry and Martin more so than Higgins, because the secondary looked like it was really hard to crack. I didn't think anybody was gonna I didn't expect Jalen Armour-Davis to get cut. I mean, I know that he's been banged up a lot since he's been here, but TJ Tampa and Chidobe Awuzie and
that's a big upgrade,
right? Signing Jair Alexander and then returning Marlon and Nate, and it's like, where are you fitting these guys in? I know that they're going to be special teams guys, but they played their asses off and they made this team. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Jay Higgins is our starting inside linebacker next to Roquan by, I'd say, week 10. Maybe.
Think so?
Yeah.
You think, are they going to start Simpson?
They are. It looks like what they're going to do now is they're going to start Simpson next to Roquan. But I think things changed a little bit when Ardarius got hurt because they were going to run a lot of 2-high safety with Ardarius and Malachi in the back end, and they were going to kind of have Kyle play more in the box again.
Yeah.
And that takes Simpson off the field by default. So,
true. Yeah.
So I think the injury changed things. Simpson looks the part. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. But there's a disconnect in what he's seeing and what he's doing. And it's obvious. And Daniel and I talk about it on our show a lot, where it's got to be a mental thing because he's got the physical ability. He's a physical specimen. He's 6'2" and about 240 pounds, and he runs under a 4.5. In today's game, that's an elite.
Yeah.
That's an elite, metric linebacker, especially on the inside. And playing next to Rowe, you should look a lot better. It did wonders for Patrick Queen because his metrics fell off insanely. His first year in Pittsburgh last year on Pro Football Focus, he finished 129 out of 189 in overall metrics for inside linebackers.
And then they ranked him top 100 player this year.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a popularity contest. At the end of the day. That's all player voted.
Yeah.
So I take that with a huge grain of salt. Higgins reminds me of the ilk of Zach Orr and Jameel McLean and to a lesser degree Bart Scott, because he's one of those guys that just plays with grit. He's a hard hitter. He's a sound tackler. The only thing that you have to worry about now is that he's going to be seeing other teams' ones because he's going to get in that linebacker rotation, and he's still got to compete with Teddy Buchanan, who, in all fairness, I wasn't a fan of the Buchanan pick, but he's looked good in preseason. He can play all four phases of specials, and he's a pretty decent cover linebacker. I didn't really know much about him when we drafted him, but I did my due diligence, and we got a good inside linebacker room. I haven't really said that a lot lately the last couple of years, other than that year and a half where Queen and Roquan were together.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that the back seven or the back eight, however you want to put it, could arguably be the best in football. And I'm not saying that because I'm a diehard Ravens guy, but they're good.
It's hard to find others that are better.
You look around the league right now, you can't show me a better secondary. There's 5 first-round draft picks in the secondary.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep. And Pro Bowlers that are your 3 and 4.
Right. You got 3, 4, and 5 are your Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
It's Awuzie is your dime back.
Yeah.
That's absurd because he started in Cincinnati and he started in Dallas. I know injuries caught up to him, but you're looking at this now where Awuzie isn't going to have to cover anybody's 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
So now you got a halfway decent cornerback who's not going to have to be on the field for 70, 80 snaps a game. And you're going to less is more for these guys, especially with Jair as well.
You know what I see a lot of this year? And because of the depth and talent that they have in the back end, is going to be a lot more corner blitzes from Marlon.
He's going to slide right back to what made him an all-pro.
Yep.
The slot cornerback, he's going to be blitzing off the edge. Orr's definitely going to ramp up the pressure. We've been one of the best overall teams in terms of creating sacks the last 3 years. And
since Orr almost took over, yeah.
Yeah, since Orr pretty much, came into the fold. Even when, he wasn't the defensive coordinator, when it was still McDonald. And to be fair, once he kind of made some midseason adjustments, they were the best defense in football for the second half of last year.
Once they bench Marcus Williams.
Yeah. I struggle because for years, the Ravens have been chasing the ghost of Ed Reed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to elaborate for the people that are watching, because Ed Reed gave us a solid decade of all-pro Hall of Fame level play at free safety. Even a 50% Ed Reed is better than 90% of starting free safeties in the NFL during his time period.
Yep.
So then in the successors to Reed have been Eric Weddle, who was on the twilight of his career. He gave us a couple good seasons, but they put a lot of money into Weddle. They drafted Elam. They put a lot of money into Earl Thomas, and then turned right around and put a lot of money into Marcus Williams. I did the numbers not long ago on one of our shows, and We've put $150 million into the free safety position alone in free agency since Ed Reed left.
That's terrible.
And our return on investment has been not
a
so
whole
good.
lot. I mean, Weddle was decent that first year.
But we haven't sniffed a Super Bowl
Yeah.
since Reed left. And, for a while we were chasing the ghost of Ray as well. After Ray retired in 2012, you drafted Arthur
Brown, right?
Arthur Brown, CJ Mosley. They brought in Darryl Smith on the tail end of his career. There was, Patrick Queen and all these guys that came along. And then finally you had Eric DaCosta did what Ozzie never did, and he traded draft picks.
Yep.
He went out and got Roquan. And for the most part, Roquan's been a fantastic return on what's going on.
Yeah.
With this team. I've been overly critical of a lot of things, and I think it's just because of our lack of postseason success the last 2 years under Harbaugh. Because if you want to be real about it, we should be going for our third straight Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Objectively, if you look at our roster the last 3 years, we have had top to bottom one of the best teams in the NFL since the start of the 2023 football season. And we have nothing to show for it. And one thing that made me kind of really get pissed with Harbaugh is in the press conferences earlier in training camp, where he said he didn't believe in Super Bowl or bust. Buddy, you need to.
Yeah.
We're now inching farther and farther away from his last Super Bowl.
13 years, right? This year?
It'll be 13 years this year. And for a franchise that's been around 30 years, we had two in our first
96. Yeah.
In our first 14 years of existence, we had our first 16 years of existence, we had 2 Super Bowls. And now you're creeping up on that 13 years since we've held the Lombardi, and you've arguably had the best team in the NFL the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry was 31 years old last year and almost ran for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson had a 10-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
One of the best all time.
One of the best all time, while almost completing 70% of his passes. I believe he was around 68%, which is towards his career high.
Almost broke the passer rating record too, didn't he?
Yeah. And then Buffalo still leaves a bad taste in my mouth because a lot of it was fundamentally sound football techniques and coaching that just went out the window.
It seems like it always is every single year.
Now, 2023, I blamed Harbaugh because he tried to outcoach Andy Reid at his own game, and he failed spectacularly.
Yep.
You had the best rushing attack in the history of the league to that point, and you ran the ball 6 times in the AFC Championship game.
Maddening.
Don't
even get me started on
it. Yeah. And then last year, I understand Buffalo in January, the snow, the ice, the bitter cold, the elements played a huge part in that game. Zay Flowers not playing in that game really hurt us because
Bateman got hurt.
Bateman
got hurt too, right?
No, likely finished the game.
Okay.
Yeah, because he caught that last touchdown before Andrews.
That's right.
Had the drop, and now you go and you fortify wide receiver. You bring back Tylen. You bring back Rashad. You give him an extension. You bring, Zay's back still on his rookie deal. You've replaced Aguilar with DeAndre Hopkins. You draft LeJontay Wester, who is going to be your return man. Keaton Mitchell is now a full year and some change removed from his non-contact knee injury where it looked like he blew everything out. And then you have all 3 tight ends coming back. Eventually.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is that they didn't address the interior offensive line in free agency or the draft. They
That's what
drafted Emory Jones. I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's what makes me severely dislike John Harbaugh. Like when he gets so focused on one guy, it's nothing else matters. And there's something that he loves about Falalele, and it drives me nuts about Harbaugh. Like everyone else can see it. Everyone else posts the videos and how he struggles and his stats, and that's our guy, right? And they're gonna he's gonna prove everybody right until he becomes an NFL player. And it's just like, why? Like,
It's almost like he's insulting our intelligence
yeah,
because it's a very, very passive aggressive way that Billick handled things head on when he got
bowler.
questioned in the Super Bowl media weekend. They said, they asked him about Ray Lewis in the whole trial, and when Billick pretty much just said, "I'm standing up here, I have the authority to speak on it, and that's why you're down there," kind of situation. He was direct about his antics. He disguised nothing. Harbaugh's very passive aggressive when it comes to dealing with the media and talking to us, and it's tiresome at best. But not addressing guard. Zeitler was a free agent. You could have brought him back for a final run. He goes to Tennessee. You don't re-sign McCary, and honestly, 3 years, $38 million. I wasn't giving McCary $11 million a year anyway, because as the old adage goes, if you play all 5 offensive line positions, you don't start at any of them.
Yeah.
When I only played high school ball, but I played one position. I played left guard, and that's all I took reps at in practice. I never learned tackle. I never learned center. I never learned right guard. I stayed in that same position for 3 years. And that tells you everything you need to know just from a logic standpoint. McCary, it was too light to play guard. He was too short to play tackle. He was too light in the ass to play center. He was good at filling in periodically for all of those, but this is the AFC North. You got some hosses on the defensive line in all of these other teams. Cincinnati had DJ Reader for a while before he went to Detroit. Cam Hayward in Pittsburgh. Now you got the kid Mason Graham in Cleveland, and for the last couple of years they had some heavier guys in there. Danny Shelton, who was like 6'4" and close to 380 pounds at nose tackle. To not draft a guard in the first 2 days is almost like
Crazy.
it's almost like willful ignorance.
Yeah.
I get the Mike Green draft pick. I get that because you got a top 15 talent at 59.
100%.
Or 54, whatever the number was.
Yeah.
You can't pass that up. They must have done their diligence to draft him knowing what was going on with him in college off the field, because they've stayed away from character flaw for the most part. And then you go get Emory Jones, and he hasn't touched the field. If you look at his college tape and you look at his metrics,
he's going to be good, I think.
He's going to be a good football player.
Yeah.
But did they draft Emory Jones to transition to guard, or did they draft Emory Jones to transition to right tackle? So when Stanley ultimately leaves in a couple years, they slide Rosengarten to the left side, and then Rosengarten and Emory Jones are your bookend tackles for a while.
Maybe both.
It might be, but the thing is, in the history of the Ravens, I only can recall 2 offensive linemen that were successful where you had him at guard or tackle, and that's Jonathan Ogden. He played his rookie year at left guard. And then Marshall Yanda was an all-pro at right guard and right tackle.
Yeah.
Those are 2 exceptions to the rule. Most guys can't handle that because of personal preference, because of money and optics and all that. So to me, that is negligence because you're going with Voorhees, who got hurt and lost his job. If Voorhees was good enough to start for us last year, when he came back from injury, he should have taken the job back from McCary, but he didn't. And Voorhees hasn't been healthy since his junior year at USC. That's a problem. You got an all-pro left tackle, you got an all-pro center, and you got a Pro Bowl level right tackle. And then you look at Daniel Faalele, where they tried to sell us the dream that he was having a great camp. And then you go into the second game and he's getting bulldozed by guys that are driving for Amazon right now.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's not just like, oh, it was a one-off. He's 6'8" and 370 pounds. And he's getting pushed into the backfield by guys that he has 7 inches in height and about 70 pounds on. And I know size isn't everything because it's about leverage and it's about technique in the trenches. But you're selling us that Faalele is going to be a productive right guard. You have a $55 million quarterback and you have a $15 million running back. So you got $70 million behind those guys on loan. And you didn't do shit to improve it. You didn't even bring in competition.
Yep. And that's what drives me nuts. Like, to me, I think that's a hardball thing because I like my guys, or I don't think it was we didn't have enough money because Eric finds a way to have money. He always has, whether that be extending somebody else or restructuring or something. He's always found a way, or trading for someone. Like you said, they didn't even try. Like that. That's got to be a hardball thing because if Harbaugh walked in that offense and says, "I need a left guard," he's going to be presented with a left guard. We all know that. It's just a little thing that drives me nuts with John.
Yeah. I know that we've kind of went down the rabbit hole with a lot of this, just overall for the last couple of years. You're putting a lot on this on those two guys to protect Lamar Jackson. Now, you can't expect Lamar to be Houdini forever.
Nope.
He's entering his age 28 year. He's now an 8-year pro. That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's going to wear on him eventually. Or eventually he slows down and, that stiff arm on Trey Hendrickson, that doesn't happen anymore. Or Sam Hubbard, whoever it was.
Yeah.
Eventually he gets caught.
And eventually it's a foregone conclusion. You're going to have to make Lamar Jackson the highest paid player in the NFL either now or next year.
Yeah.
Because he's got a $77 million cap hit next year, which is absurd. That's 25% of your cap. They're not going to do that. So you got to extend him. He deserves it. Because what is this team without him? It's maybe a
5-win team, maybe
5-7 win football team.
Maybe.
And he's probably going to get another contract after that. If he stays relatively healthy, he could play realistically 18, 19 years. Look at Joe Flacco. He's still going in year 17 because he stayed healthy.
Yep.
And
he only missed that one season really with the ACL.
Yeah. He missed the one season with the ACL and he missed
in the back.
He missed half of 2018, which parlayed Lamar into the forefront.
He probably honestly could have maybe came back that year, but I think it was just like, my job's on the line and I'm making this switch.
Yeah. It worries me because they've invested a lot in a lot of positions. They obviously quarterback, running back. You invested a lot of money in the secondary.
Yeah.
You invested a lot of money on your defensive line with Madubuike. You invested $20 million. Like, if you look at it right now, you got a $20 million cornerback. You got a $30 million safety. You got a $20 million middle linebacker. You got a $25 million nose tackle. You got a $20 million left tackle. You got a $15 million tight end. a $55 million quarterback, and a $15 million running back. It's a lot of money in a lot of key positions.
Yep.
But that's the double-edged sword to all this, is that you have to do with what you can and what you have. I think not fortifying the inside of this offensive line, you're putting a lot on Linderbaum.
Yeah.
And while Falele might be a good run blocker because he's just a space eater and a people mover, Lamar shouldn't have to dance and turn what should be a 3 or 5 step drop into backyard football because you can't pass block and kick step quick enough to block these guys. And Voorhees might be a good player. We don't know that yet, though. And Ben Cleveland, I'm surprised he's on this team. And then you have
brought him back, right?
Yeah. And then you have Joseph Noteboom, who was a swing tackle from the Rams. He's going to be the McCary of this year. And then you have Carson Vincent, the rookie. And then you took the second-year undrafted free agent center to back up Corey Bullock, to back up Linderbaum and in the inside of the guards. That's dicey.
Yeah.
Because the AFC North and just our schedule in general is not kind to us this year.
Yeah.
You got Detroit in 3 weeks.
Yep. Which look, I think Detroit's a good football team, but Detroit is not a team that likes to get smacked in the mouth.
I'm right, but I'm looking at the guys up front. You got that kid, the dude Akil or O'Neal or something like that they just paid a couple years ago. You got DJ Reader in the middle. You got Aiden Hutchinson on the outside.
Yeah.
Now, I know he's coming back from a pretty serious injury, but I'm just looking at the optics with that. And then we got Chris Jones, who seems to dine on the Ravens' interior offensive line. And you got the Browns in the middle of all that, who always seem to get one of us every year, one from us every year. So you can't. Every win matters right now.
Yeah.
I know. I hate to be like that, but every win matters.
Do you think this team can chase perfection? I know the schedule's hard. Schedule's very hard.
Wilcox said we were going to go undefeated last night. I said the opening week is so busy.
Yeah.
This is like my 6th show this week, and it's all scheduled around the opening of the season. Like, I think our floor is 13-4.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our ceiling is 15-2. To expect
they always seem to trip up once, at least once. They lose a game they shouldn't.
Right. I personally think that perfection is possible. But with the DNA of this team, regular season perfection can be possible because they seem to, when they get on a groove and they start steamrolling people. 2023, perfect example. Lamar won the MVP in a 4-game stretch.
Yeah.
When he steamrolled San Francisco and Detroit and Miami and all those guys late in the year, that's what won him the Super Bowl or the MVP. For the psyche of this team, perfection would doom us even more in the postseason.
Yeah.
Because
a lot more pressure.
Like, it's going to sound crazy when I say this. I want the Ravens to have to play every week this year.
I think that's fair.
Home field advantage, it's still too fresh. 2023 is still too fresh for me.
Yeah.
Home field advantage is not something I want. In order for us to truly win and truly do what we do best, I want Lamar to slay every dragon that's stood in his way.
Mm-hmm.
I want Lamar to beat a combination of Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl. I don't
and
want
then, and
any.
then beat Jalen Hurts.
I don't want any excuses.
Yeah,
I don't
think
want
it's
to.
fair.
I don't want. Oh, Josh Allen didn't play you this year because they got bounced in the opening round, or they got bounced in the divisional round, or whatever. I don't want any excuses because there's no excuse this year.
Yeah.
They're all out. They're fresh out of excuses.
Yep.
Your window's now. I said it a couple years ago when, through the course of my shows. 23, 24, 25, and arguably 26 is your Super Bowl window. Because that's when you got a lot of your players on rookie contracts and they're cheap. Because now you're facing in the next couple of years, you're gonna have to pay Likely, you're gonna have to pay Zay Flowers, you're gonna have to pay Tyler Linderbaum if you choose to keep Tyler Linderbaum, which is insane if you even consider letting him walk. We struggled at center letting Ryan Jensen go. And then we luck into Linderbaum by trading Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals. So to me, the excuses stop here.
Yeah.
You have arguably one of the most talented rosters in football, if not the most talented roster in football.
It's got to be right there with the Eagles. It's got to be. And I'm looking at I don't know if you ever use this team rankings thing. So they have Baltimore at number 2 in projected wins at 11.2, and Buffalo at number 1 at 11.9. 81.1% playoff and 11.8% Super Bowl win, with Buffalo at leading that at 13.8%. I think we're head and shoulders better team than Buffalo.
Yeah, and here's the thing that bothers me. I know the NFL has to do the rotating schedule. If you look at Buffalo's schedule,
Cakewalk.
10 out of 17 games are against really bad football teams.
Yeah.
Compared to them. You got 2 against the Jets. You got 2 against the Patriots. You got 2 against
I think the Patriots are going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah, so do I. But I'm saying you got 2 against the Dolphins.
Yeah. The Dolphins are always trash.
The Dolphins struggle every single year.
Yeah.
So that's probably 2 right there off the bat. You're going to get 2 against the Jets.
So they got one hard game against us, right? So if they go 0-1, they get the Jets in Miami, and then the Saints, and then New England, and then Atlanta, and then Carolina. So they could legitimately go 6-1
in the first 7 weeks.
and then play Kansas City. You go maybe 6-2, and then you get Miami. That's 7-2. Tampa, I think Tampa would beat them. Even though it's at home, I think Tampa beats them. We'll say 7-3. Houston 8-3. Pittsburgh 9-3. Cincinnati 10-3. New England 11-3. Cleveland 12-3. Philadelphia 12-4. Jets 13-4.
Yeah,
cakewalk. And they get Philly at home, Cincinnati at home, Kansas City at home, and Baltimore at home. Thanks, NFL.
Yeah.
If the AFC doesn't run through Buffalo, that's a problem, in my opinion.
I wanted to run through Buffalo.
Me too.
Because
I'm kind of tired of their fans. We're a lot alike.
I'll tell you this. I've been pissing Buffalo fans off for about 2 weeks now.
It's fun because,
I've
man, they have
I've gotten a couple
syndromes.
of like some pretty nasty threats about who I am, and obviously it goes without saying it's all internet trash talk because all those fans would never say that stuff to me standing in front of me.
No.
And I can say that with a hell of a lot of confidence. Not to be cocky, but that's,
we just, I mean, it's just NFL people. I mean,
Yeah.
internet people.
I want to go into Buffalo, and I want to take their souls in the sense that I want it to be the last home game of that shitty stadium.
Yeah.
And the memory to be Lamar Jackson holding the Lamar Hunt Trophy, getting ready for Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I would never ask for anything else in this life other than an
It would be
Orioles
great,
World
wouldn't it?
other than an Orioles World Series. I want to see us break Josh Allen's heart
Yeah. Again.
and go to win it all. Nate Geary from Buffalo Radio, he's easy to make upset. Yeah, a lot of them are, Drew. It's crazy. They are a very sensitive fan base. And I'll say this, they're cocky for going 0-4 in 4 straight Super Bowls and then never winning shit since. Let's
They haven't even made a Super Bowl yet.
Let's just be real about it. Buffalo is benefiting from a complete and utter unwinding of the New England Patriots dynasty.
Yeah.
They are benefiting from Belichick losing touch with what he made him great.
Yep.
And no Tom Brady. You only have to deal with Mahomes once or twice a year. You have to deal with Brady twice a year, every year. And they've ran that division for our entire childhood, pretty much.
That's a good way of putting it right there.
Yeah.
All right, so let me pick your brain here. So in 23, they were the 4th best offense with 27.7 points a game.
Okay.
24, they were the 3rd best offense at 30.1, so almost a 3-point swing. What is your prediction for 25? Do you think they lead the league, and do they get over 31 points a game?
I do. Because this offense is high octane.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it because that's my team. That's our team. Like, these dudes they're going to be pissed about touches on this.
I also think the defense is going to be so good. They're going to start generating a little bit more turnovers as well and scoring points a little bit more on defense than they did last year.
I think there's going to be a couple games this year where we might put up a couple 50 burgers on some people.
Yeah.
I
think Lamar sits out, I'm going to say at least 4 fourth quarters.
He's probably going to miss a game and a half equivalent by sitting out in the final quarter.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I think that they have an opportunity to probably score close to 33, 34 points a game this year.
That's what Detroit did last year, 33.1.
Yeah. And I think they're a better offense.
Yeah.
If you stack us up, I think the only thing they have us beat with is Amon-Ra as a wide receiver 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I would put Bateman over Jameson Williams as wide receiver 2. I'm taking Andrews over Laporta.
Yeah.
And
I'd take Likely over Laporta, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that could be argued.
I just think Likely's really underrated as far as the blocking game goes. Like, everybody wants to look at what you do as a receiving tight end, but he does that with ease, and his open. There's no tight end in football who's as good as him in the open field. When he gets that ball and turns his shoulders towards the end zone, no one is better. But he's so good at blocking too. It's such an underrated part of his game.
And I think likely missing the early part of the season is going to really give us a chance to see what we got in Kohler.
Yeah,
Kohler's been lost in this shuffle. Even though he's a great blocker, dude can catch and run.
I think Kohler's going to work that middle that Mark Andrews did for a long time when he was younger.
That's Dennis Pitta right there.
Yes. And it's going to allow Mark to kind of stretch the edges a little bit more and run them seams that he's slow. He's slowing down, but he still can beat a guy off the line and get down that seam a little bit.
Andrews does his damage from the seams to the sideline.
Yep.
He's good. He's good from the numbers to the sideline. That's his bread and butter. It always has been.
Yep.
But I think Kohler's going to do some damage over the middle.
Me too.
Because to be quite frank with you, Buffalo is a severely undersized defense. I don't care what anybody says. When your linebackers are 6'1" and 230, and
they're missing half their secondary.
Yeah.
This weekend, aren't they? And their kicker.
Yeah. It's bad enough to where they had to sign Jordan Poyer back to play this week.
Yeah.
And he didn't play at all in the preseason.
So they were giving up 21.6 points a game last year. I think that defense is going to be giving up around 23 to 24 points a game this year in Buffalo. Yeah. Baltimore gave up 21.2. I'm going to say this year they're going to be sitting around
those numbers are
20.5.
The first half of the season, those numbers are skewed.
Yeah. I'll say 20.5 because, like we talked about, I think our offense is going to be so good. A lot of teams are going to score that garbage time touchdown. So the numbers aren't going to be as good as they should, but the overall number. But I think they're going to blow some teams out.
That's fair. That's fair.
Everybody gets garbage time touchdowns. But I was looking at some other stats too. Was it third down conversions per game last year? Buffalo was one of the worst in football. They were giving up 6 a game. 6 a game. You give Lamar Jackson 6 extra first downs this year or this game, he's going to put up an extra 14 points, I think.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't make any stupid mistakes.
The only thing I don't like about this is that they don't play their starters at all.
I know, I hate that. And they always struggle.
Because I feel like this is a Sunday Night Football preseason week 4.
Yeah.
Because the first half of football is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
We got to accept that. And this is for both teams. I'm not just talking about for us. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the tough reality of it.
So Buffalo gave up 21 first downs last year a game. 21. You let the Ravens have 21 first downs. You think they put up 40 points?
Easily.
Yeah. Baltimore
Easily.
last year only gave up 17. That's a big difference. And 4 first downs, a big difference.
And I'm gonna bring up something I saw. I can't remember exactly who he was. He's a Buffalo Bills content creator on TikTok and Instagram, and he's been putting out propaganda that Derrick Henry isn't going to be effective because they held him in check. He used a reference point for like 7 games, where 5 of those games were as a Titan. As a Raven, Derrick Henry averaged 149 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
It's trying to like give. He was almost like trying to convince himself that they aren't in trouble.
I do it all the time in baseball.
Yeah. But if there's anything that should scare Buffalo, is Derrick Henry's coming out party last year was against them.
Yeah.
His I'm here as a Raven 199-yard performance. Those dudes didn't even want to attempt to touch him.
I've seen a lot of guys saying that all the Ravens' losses last year, Henry didn't have 100 yards. I don't think Henry needs to have 100 yards to be effective in this game. Like, if you want to key on Derrick Henry, be my guest, because 1, we actually have a wide receiver core this game. And for 2, it's not 20 degrees. So pick your poison.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be a lot of guys open.
Here's an interesting stat that I looked up earlier to kind of put in perspective what Derrick Henry's capable of doing. When his last year in Tennessee, his yards before contact were negative. He was getting hit in the backfield almost every single carry, which is absurd. That just tells you how bad the Titans' offensive line was, and their team was to where they were stacking the box with 8 or 9 guys.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's first year in Baltimore, part of it's a better offensive line, part of it is the Lamar Jackson effect. He averaged 3.8 yards rushing before contact.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that Derrick Henry, who lines up a little bit deeper than your more traditional running backs, has about a 10-yard head start full of steam, and then he's running an extra 4 yards before he's even touched. And his acceleration is to where he runs just shy of 22 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous, and he is 6'2", 6'3", and they list him at 240, but Derrick Henry's probably closer to 260.
I'd say 275 probably.
Yeah.
That's a massive man.
And
for him to run the way he does, that's scary.
Yeah. So Buffalo, I know they got Milano back this year.
Cool.
I know they signed Joey Bosa.
Cool.
I know that Ed Oliver's healthy again, but at the end of the day, it's the same. 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen are the same.
Joey Bosa is going to be hurt by the third quarter.
I don't even care.
Right.
I don't care because our tackles are above average.
Yeah,
at worst. Rosengarten's probably going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
I think they both are.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So it's interesting how a lot of these analysts and a lot of these content creators have been kind of cherry picking and skewing certain stats. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about Derrick Henry on the Titans as opposed to Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson standing next to him.
Right. Who was his quarterback over there?
Brian Tannehill.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he could run a little bit, but he's not Lamar Jackson.
No, he's one of one.
He's slower than like Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, he's one of one.
Right. It's a big difference in. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand it because I do it with the Orioles fans. Sometimes you just try to talk yourself into it. I get it, but yeah, man, I'm excited. I think the Ravens, as much as I don't like John Harbaugh, I'm gonna try and look past it. I complain about him to my neighbors all the time just to be funny, but I do think this is a 14 win team. But I'm going to be pretty aggressive about it. They are going to slip up. They always do, which is so funny because we get so mad when they lose one game.
I don't get mad at losing.
Yeah.
I get
It's
mad
just
at how we lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's always something dumb.
It's always either a lack of focus.
Yep.
Or fundamentals. And those are coaching issues.
Yep.
Because toe to toe, we have all pros at worst Pro Bowlers at almost every single position on offense and defense.
Exactly. And then you lose the guys that are probably not even going to play in the NFL for 2 years. And it's just dumb stuff.
It is.
Or, just a dumb turnover late, whether that be a fumble or an interception or just something dumb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All right, Matt, go ahead and give yourself a plug here. Where can people find you?
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool. For everybody watching, I know. Thank you again for doing this and letting me stream on our channel. It's a We Bleed Purple podcast. If you can, like and subscribe to it. Myself and retired Ravens tight end Daniel Wilcox, we do a weekly show preview and post game immediate reaction. Every single week during the year, we always have really cool guests to come on and talk football with us. A lot of his former teammates. Last year, we did our show under the Believe Network. We ventured out on our own this year, but just last year we had Todd Heap, Brandon Jacobs from the Giants, Jameel McLean, who's the director of player engagement with the Ravens, Lorenzo Neal, Matt Stover. Did I say Todd Heap?
Yep. You're missing the big one though.
Brian Billick,
And
Bart Scott, and we had Eric DaCosta.
there you go.
Yeah. Eric talked to us 3 nights before the Buffalo playoff game, and quick confession, that was probably the most nervous I've ever been sitting in front of this microphone. I was in a cold sweat the entire interview.
I bet.
And it was like the best 17 minutes, but the longest 17 minutes. Yeah, but we have a lot of special guests lined up this year to come on the show. We're trying to build our fan base. We launched the channel in April, and we're at almost 100 subscribers. YouTube's a little bit tougher to
Oh
crack.
yeah.
But we are very open and engaging with our fans that that comment on our lives, and it was really cool because the Ravens had a booth at the Maryland State Fair this past weekend, and Wilcox and Evan Oglesby, the former defensive back we had, they were asked to come sign autographs, and they actually came and crashed my fantasy football draft at Fraser's down in Hamden, and that was really cool. I actually got to hang out with Wilcox and Oglesby, and it was a real cool experience. But We Bleed Purple podcast is really our main hub on how we stream to you guys live, and we're trying to get to 100 subscribers by Sunday. That was like our little personal goal. So if you can like and subscribe, we're also on X. I'm at mtrigwbp. Wilcox is at Coach Wilcox. And then for Instagram, where he's the most active, it's Daniel.Wilcox, and I'm mtrig89. But thank you so much for letting me promote that, man, because
Yeah, man. How often do you do shows so people know?
it's a little touchy. Like in the off season, we kind of do it. We were kind of doing it like once a week, maybe once every 10 days, just to kind of like, figure out a schedule. But now with the regular season, we are twice a week.
There you go.
Pre-game, our game preview, and then post-game immediate reaction. So we'll be live twice a week, and barring any injury news or trades or free agency scoop, we'll do a short. Last year we were a little bit buttoned up because we were under a network, and we weren't, we had to do 30-minute shows, and we had to no cussing and no really joking around. We got a lot of phone calls and text messages about what we were doing. They wanted us to stick to just current Ravens, and having a lot of Wilcox's former teammates on the show, they told a lot of stories and a lot of personal relationships and a lot of things that you don't necessarily get to hear from, everyday Ravens podcasts. There's a lot of these out here.
Yeah.
And we're the only podcast for the Ravens or YouTube channel where a retired Raven is covering the team every single week independently. So I know Shannon Sharp has his global thing, but when it comes to strictly Baltimore Ravens with former players, we are it.
Yep. All right, man. Well, yeah, definitely. If you guys, please click the link, go on over there, drop them a sub. Like I said, twice a week. So I'm in there all the time. We can get in there and chat football and complain.
We'll be live right after the Buffalo Bills game on Sunday night.
There you go. I'll be in bed.
Yeah. A lot of we have a lot of good guests lined up, a couple of recurring guests, a couple of people that we haven't had on yet. I'm excited about some of them. This is going to be a really good season. So if you would like a surprise, you never know who you're going to see pop up on this show.
Yep.
So
very nice. All right. Well, with that being said, Matt, what else you got for me today? Any surprises this year? Any off the wall things you think the Ravens are going to do, or a player?
Not really off the wall. I believe that Clowney's going to be here in the next week or two.
Okay.
If I had to go off the wall, I would say the Ravens visit the signing of Christian Wilkins.
Okay.
Nose tackle.
Even with John Jenks?
I'm surprised he made the team.
Yeah.
It's not because he's a bad player, but
right.
He just wasn't very. I didn't hear his name a lot.
Yeah. Well, but being a veteran, I mean, how much effort are you really going to put in?
I'm my bold statement for this year is I believe Keaton Mitchell is going to eventually supplant Justice Hill, and Keaton Mitchell. And I believe Keaton Mitchell has combined 10 touchdowns this year between return, receiving, and rushing.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So that's when you're really putting up points.
Yeah.
I like Justice. Justice is I think Keaton's a better football player, but I tell you what, man, there's not another guy on that roster on a third down pass protection that I would like in that backfield, because that dude sticks his nose right on in there, and I love that. I mean, remember that play? I think it was week 1 last year against the Chiefs. Falele fell over, and it was just Justice Hill and Chris Jones, and then just boom, stuck him right there. Gave Lamar time to deliver that touchdown pass.
Yep.
Earned my respect forever after that. That's Chris Jones. That's a Hall of Famer. He just went in there and just stone cold him right into the hole.
I liked it.
Loved it. I don't know if Keaton has that in him. I mean, he's more of a speed guy, but we'll see.
He's going to benefit from Derrick Henry leaning on teams.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got the 5'8" back that you can't find that runs 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to break a couple nice ones.
That they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter where
we're not taking anything away from Justice Hill, because he's pretty damn fast to break one too. But Keaton is just a whole
Justice Hill's our best receiving back
Yeah.
out of the backfield on the team. So he's going to get his touches.
Yep. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up here tonight. We appreciate you all hanging in there. Again, We Bleed Purple podcast. Go on over there, drop them a follow and a sub, and we'll catch you guys